All right, everybody in Programming 3. I just wanted to do a quick tutorial to show you all what I expect you all to do today and probably finish up wrapping up on Thursday for Fish Street. So everything that you should have so far that you don't see on my screen here is you should have read in the file, separated all the data. So, the dates, the names, the addresses, all that stuff. And you should have your tombstone and date classes ready. I highly recommend that you use the Java date class. Take a look at it. Google, date class Java if you haven't already. And I recommend that you use that. So the way that that's going to be used, and the reason why I recommend using the date class is we are going to be using a tree map to store all of this information. I could use hash map if you want, but I'm going to go back to recommending that you use a tree map to store all of this data. And the way that you're going to do that is you're going to first create a tree map outside of everything else. So wherever your code is, outside of that, where it's reading in the file and stuff like that, wherever you've done that. And you're going to create a tree map that is of type date, comma, and in this case, I'm going to be a little naive, and I'll show you why I'm being naive in a second, but date, tombstone. I'm going to sure to do that in both places. Date, tombstone. And whatever the name of your date class is here. Now, the nice thing I can do here then is once I have my date stuff, right? Let's say that I have my date stuff and I did date, and again, don't take me for a word for it right now. You have to look up to see how the date class works. But I'm just going to say I do the day, month, year from the file, and that created D, right? And then from the file, I also created this tombstone, T equals new tombstone. And then I passed in, let's see, name, address. Let's just do name and address. So I have my two objects already. And I read in the file over here, and that's how I did all that. And then I created my objects based on the information I read each line of the file. So you're going to have to do this each line of the file. So it'll be in that loop that does the, while next line, or has next line and stuff like that. So that's there. From there, we can go ahead and add these in. And the nice thing is if you use the Java date class, not this one right here that I'm using right here, but this is just an example, then when you add them in, you can do tree map, or sorry, in this case it's called tm2 dot put. You can pass in d comma t. We can show that as evidence. I'm just looking at this Geeks for Geeks page for tree maps in Java. Shows you put the key first, comma, and then whatever the data is right after that. Key first, then comma, then data right after. So in this case, it shows you the key is going to be the date because you're ordering by date. That's the point of this. And then T is the actual person that you're adding in. So date, comma, tombstone. So this is how I recommend you do it. Now, a couple of classes ago, Shveta brought up, and I've also heard separately from a couple of you all, that there are multiple people with the same day, right? There's multiple people with the same day that passed away. So in that case, instead of doing date, comma, tombstone, you could do a date, comma, an array of tombstone. You could do a date, comma, an array list of tombstone. Whatever it is you want to do to solve that problem, so that you can store multiple people in one place. That's what I care about. Now, you don't have to order them when you're in there. I'm not sure if the instructions say that. I don't really mind if you don't do that. But make sure that each day that somebody passed away, all of the tombstones that are applicable for that day are there. So that's my quick tutorial. That's my quick recommendations for today. I again hope that you're at this point where you can read in the file, separate all the data, and start creating the objects based on that data. And now you can start focusing on adding that data into the tree map. So let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you all later in class, or today in class.